Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Phil Accardo. Welcome back to my channel. This channel is focused on helping real estate agents implement AI and AI automations into their real estate sales business. I am a full-time real estate agent with Keller Williams. I've been selling real estate for 15 years, and I have a team, and I'm definitely in the game. So this just isn't something that I'm preaching. Everything I'm showing you guys, I'm actually trying to solve real life real estate problems in my business every day, and I'm using this live in my business as we speak. But I want to go over what these AI agents actually are. I'm trying to dumb it down as much as I can because I know it can be complicated, but in a nutshell, they're pretty much simple applications or simple pieces of software that do specific tasks, and you can basically program them up front to do exactly what you want to do. And the whole goal of these tasks is to help you just accomplish more with less, And I like to really focus on the things that are really repetitive that I do every single day. Those are the things that I really try to outsource to AI first. And they're really amazing, honestly. I implement all these into my own personal sales business, the things that I'm going to go over with you guys, and I'm still trying to think of new ideas. That's the really cool thing about these AI agents is that you can build one and then you can accomplish the goal you want to accomplish with it, but then there's always room to expand upon all these agents and connect them all together. So that's a really cool feature of them. And the other cool thing about them is that they're very custom. They can be very customized towards what you're trying to do, towards your specific software that you use in your business. Like, for example, a lot of my AI agents are focused around Follow Boss because that's what I use as a main CRM. I use Follow Boss. I use Google for email. So all my AI agents are focused around Google, and it connects with that. But there's a lot of automations you can do with them, and they don't all use AI, but a lot of them do. But the AI that's actually used in a lot of these automations is probably one or two steps throughout the whole thing. It might be, for example, a reasoning question that it might have to solve based off of the input that it receives. Again, the cool thing about them, though, again, is that they're custom. You can actually solve real life problems with these things, and you can build upon them every single day and like make them better and better. And they're going to just keep evolving with the technology too. So if you build like one thing out, it's only just going to keep getting better as time goes on. So you got to remember with AI, like we are currently at every present moment, it's like the worst it's ever going to be because it's only going to keep getting better and better and better and faster and smarter, right? But let's get into what these things actually are and what they can do. I have built AI agents for social media. That was the first thing I've really focused on. I created a few AI agents that create social media content that's based off of like my business. And I've also created a agent that actually then posts the content, because you have agents that make content, then you have agents that can post content to different channels. And when I create agents, I think about how can I minimize this into as little action steps on my end as possible. I think there's a lot of misinformation out there on AI agents because like a lot of people think that you can set it and forget it, but it doesn't always work that way. Instead of doing something that took 10 clicks, it might take you 3 clicks with AI. So you're basically reducing the amount of work required to do the same tasks, or you could potentially eliminate some stuff. Like, for example, one thing that I do is I use showing time. Right. And a lot of people use showing time to schedule showings. Well, for whatever reason, again, I don't know why this is, but showing time does not have an integration into calendar applications. Like when a showing comes through, you would think that, oh, it could just add the showing to my Google Calendar, but it doesn't. So I have an AI automation for that. Right. I have an AI automation that reminds buyer's agents about their showings, and it reconfirms the appointments with them. And then it texts the seller, letting the seller know that we just reconfirmed with them. The reason I made this agent is because there have been a lot of complaints about buyers agents not showing up to properties. So you at least get that paper trail of an agent trying to double check with an AI agent trying to double check with a real estate agent like an hour before the showing to make sure it's still on. So social media posts that I created with AI, brag posts, which are like under contract. Hey, I sold a house. Hey, this house is pending. Hey, we just went to settlement. I made open house posts with them. I made coming soon posts with them. New to market photo posts, new to market video posts, news article posts. All these things that once took me, either I had to make the whole post from scratch, and you click a million times to make a video, or you're in Canva, you're exporting here, you're doing this, you're doing that. Like, I custom program these agents up front one time, so they do it a million times after that through very, very little input. Another agent I have created is a transaction coordinator, right? So the whole goal of the transaction coordinator is to help make your transactions a little easier by doing one big step up front that then handles a bunch of other steps. So for example, you put a house under contract. There's a form that you have to enter all the details in, and this is perfect for like a transaction coordinator or someone who's an admin, or just you yourself could enter it as, but again, there's really no avoiding the form up front, at least at this point, because the computer has to have the input to know what to do with it, right? But you could probably make one that you could speak to your phone on, and it'll fill in all the blanks. But I have a form because that's how I like to work, and you put all the information in there about the transaction. It creates all the calendar events for everyone involved in the transaction, like earnest money due date, escrow, inspections, settlement date, mortgage commitment date. It updates all the contacts and follow-up balls with the proper information, so it like essentially talks to the CRM. And again, this is where I go back to like custom stuff. It talks to the CRM and updates my lead files in my CRM. I use follow-up balls, but you could probably connect to it through other CRMs as well. It drafts all the emails that should go to all of the parties. So it drafts the email to title, mortgage, the buyers, or the sellers, or the other realtor. And I mean, like, you can, again, like it uploads the documents that you like the agreement of sales. It does pretty much everything that you program it to do, and it's something that you can keep growing and getting better with. And hopefully one day my goal with a transaction coordinator is that I don't actually have to enter all the information manually. I can scan a document in, and it can read like all the scrappy initials and signatures. It can see what inspections were elected, what was waived. It can read everything probably one day, and it just generates everything. And like, again, they're not perfect. I would say if you think you're going to implement some of this stuff and it's going to work out of the box every single time, you're in for a rude awakening. I'm constantly still refining stuff, and like updates happen to these agents in the back end. Like the software gets updated, so you got to update stuff. Things get broken, or like things happen in your workflow that you weren't expecting, you haven't accounted for in the past, and you got to fix that. But they've been a huge help, and I feel like they're a huge selling point, right? If you're trying to build a team, or you just really try, they're also really, I mean, I'm personally trying to outsource as much as I possibly can to this stuff, but I'm trying to get more efficient, do more with less. But hey, let me show you some of these AI agents real quick. Okay, so this is actually the front end of my AI agents that I have built for my personal business. And again, this is all custom to me. This is why when I see people who are making videos about AI agents and they're one size fits all, it doesn't really make sense to me. I feel that they're a little bit misleading, because if you have a specific niche business, they're not all going to be one size fits all, right? It's just that simple. But I decided to go with a web interface and with forms, because again, I like input forms, and I actually built these forms with AI, right? So this is my first agent, you could say, or a piece of software that uses AI, that was created with AI, that I wouldn't have been able to create without AI. I can select the type of post I want here, right? Brag post, new to market video post. That creates a video of the property, and puts my headshot on it, or puts whoever's headshot I select on it, right? So I can click there, and I put a Zillow URL in there, and it creates a video. It knows who the agent is. It creates a video for that agent. It's a slideshow video of the property. This is again the brag post. So these are usually pending sales, sold properties, but I have it set up that we can actually pick the agent who's responsible for the sale, so that the input has it from the very beginning. But again, it creates a brag post. about the sale. These are open house. Again, just one URL, a little input as possible for as maximum output as possible. It creates an open house post. It pulls it all from Zillow, so it knows what day and time it is. It overlays all this data over on the video and creates it. And then we have a coming soon, a web article that scrapes a website and creates a photo based off the article, creates social media copy, and then so that's what that does. The YouTube, same thing, transcribes the whole YouTube video, creates a image and social media copy based off of the YouTube video. And then Talking Head News Video, it uses a HeyGen, which is the AI avatar software. It uses the API, it uses 11 Labs. Again, it transcribes a website, it creates a script, a video script based off of the website content, and then it creates a talking head video with a screenshot of the news article in the background. So let me show you what these look like real quick. So this is a new to market. AI generated this. So all I did was select the new to market video or photo post option. I entered the URL. The AI pulled the description. It knew it was just solicited, pulled the address, and I've pre-formatted the AI to do all this because there's an AI agent involved here. Okay, the AI agent writes the copy. It reads who's listed it. It reads it does everything that you see here. But I pre-programmed it in. But it pulls all the photos all from Zillow. So it actually have it set up to pull 15 photos, and I can go through then delete the ones I don't want. But it pulls what it thinks are the best photos of the property, and it creates it. And then that's what this created here. This is a brag post. Same thing. It creates a video. It knows it's me. It pulls the property address. It pulls a representation, and it pulls the proper graphics. Same thing. This is a listing sold at new to pull Haley's information, and all from, again, a very simple input. All I had to do was select her name, put the Zillow URL, the property she sold. The computer knew she was a listing agent. They knew it was sold. It knew it was hers. It knew it found out the address. It knew it was seller representation. This is another photo post of a property we put on the market. Another sold brag post, brag post, brag post. This is a talking head one. Future of U.S. housing. Bill Ackman says, could one major investor reshape the future of U.S. housing? Bill Ackman says, don't merge. I probably post about 2 of these a week now. Again, I go in there, spend a few minutes, I generate everything I want. Then it's called human in the loop. I don't recommend having AI agents without human in the loop, to be honest with you. So this video, all I did was I entered the URL of the website. It scraped the website. It generated a script. I then review the script, which I don't have to set that way, but I have it set up like that because I don't want to generate a video unless I like the script. It's all about the script. So basically 2-step process, input the URL, review script, edit script, process, you get the video at the end of the day. That's what it is. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about though when you're talking about creating social media content creation agents. This is exactly what this is. These are a lot simpler AI agents now, but these are for image editing. And the only difference between this and maybe going through like Gemini or ChatGPT to generate images or to edit images is that the prompts are already preset. So instead of having to go in there and write a prompt every single time on how you want them to edit the image, the AI agent makes it easier because you write the prompt in one time and then it knows what you want it to do. So exterior environment edit. I can edit the exterior environment with a winter theme, a spring theme, a summer screen, a false theme, golden hours, professional polish, tidy up. These are all pre-hard coded prompts. So all I have to do is select what I want, upload the file, and it'll create the generation. I can generate video clips. So I can go from photo to image or photo to video. This is good for creating stock images and stock video files for video content, but I can create property clips, create avatar video. That essentially is, again, you just put a prompt in and it'll create a Hey Gen video, talking head video of whatever you want your prompt to be. So instead of having to go through Hey Gen, this and that, it's one interface that controls them all, right? Again, this is perfect for somebody who's either a solo agent and just wants to do everything on their own and wants everything in one place, or you have an admin that you could have them do this for you. But hey, I want to make a video that says, hello, my name is Phil, everybody. Hope your day's going great. It'll generate it, a video. You'll have a talking head video, something that looks like this, right? But it'll be bigger and wider. This is the cameo video with Sora, okay? I'm still working on this one, but instead of, it creates those Sora cameo videos. So I have to essentially, I'm almost done doing it, but again, I'll be able to put in any prompt. It'll create a Sora video without the Sora branding. That's one thing that's nice about using the APIs, is you get rid of all the branding. Same thing with VO. Working on that one as well, but that's on the works here. Let's go to Leads AI. This is a simple skip trace. Search by name and address. You put it in here, you search it, it shows up in your CRM just like that. Boom. So very little input to the CRM. So before, I'd have to log into a skip tracing website, search the name, pull it up, copy the contact information, paste it in a file boss, save the file. This, all you're doing is going to the web page, entering the names and the addresses of the people you want, search contact, and it'll end up in your CRM. Again, the whole concept is as little work as possible, as little input as possible to create as much output as possible. That's what these AI agents are doing. Create FUB contact. I can add contacts strictly to my follow boss from here. Again, not that much more difficult to just go right into follow boss and do it, but I decided I wanted to just create this front end because, again, this specific workflow could hypothetically be connected to another workflow, and I already have the automation created now. So if I have another workflow that somehow generates some sort of contact information, for example, let's use this one. I'm working on an AI agent right now that is going to scrape a sheriff sale list, and it's going to scrape the names of everyone who's on the sheriff sale. It's going to automatically go through a skip trace. So basically from here, all I got to do is create the scrubber first, which will then run it through this one automatically, which will then automatically upload it in a follow boss. So the whole concept's that you basically enter the URL of the sheriff sale list, and then all the contacts will just end up in your CRM versus having to look up every single one every single time. Copy, paste, as little input as possible to create as much output as possible. This is a really useful one that I've created. Under contract buyer. So this is kind of a lot of input, but it also has a lot of output. And I'm really hoping that one day I can, what I said earlier, is I can talk to my phone, or scan a document in and it pulls all the information, but I can have it create a Google Space with all the information. I can have it create the calendar events if I want. I can have it generate the emails if I want. I can turn things on and off. But you basically put the buyer's agent's name in there, the property address, the buyer details. Do I want to update the buyer in my follow boss, or is the buyer not in follow boss? So I want to create a contact, but I can have up to 4 buyers in here. So there's that. You put the seller information, you put the listing agent details in there, the brokerage address, the broker's name. I have title companies in here by default. You can pre-program that, or you just do another. If it's like some title company you never worked with before, put their information in there. Contract details, agreement of sale date, settlement date, EMD amount, EMD days due, which is like the amount of days until the earnest money deposits due. Is there financing? Yes or no? Who's the lender? When's the mortgage commitment date? Are there inspections? Yes or no? What inspections are there? All this is made with AI. So this is a front end to my AI agents. Is there an appraisal? Yes or no? Attach the file. Submit. So I do this one time. It creates all the emails. It creates all the calendar events. It creates the contacts, updates the contacts in the CRM. It creates Google Spaces, and then I can keep adding on to this, right? Eventually, again, this is just going to get faster and easier, and there's going to be less input steps to create more output steps. That's what AI is doing. It's creating ways that you can do a lot less input to create a lot more output. That's all it is. Now let me show you the back end of all this stuff, because this is the front end of how AI agents work. This is the back end. I use N8N. Here's my show and assistant agent. This is what it looks like. This is the agent that texts, and I use Go High Level for this to do all the text automation, but this is connected to Go High Level. So that in a nutshell, the way this works is I turn, there's a switch for a seller. So like in Follow Boss, I tag a lead, that's like the on switch for the seller. So once the on switch for the seller is on, anytime there's a showing on their house, the buyer's agent will get a text message. Depending on what happens from that text message, depends on what message the seller gets to remind the seller about the showing, that we checked in with the buyer, and that it's still confirmed, or they're running late, or they canceled, or they didn't respond. Now, this is like all the stuff this is what I had to do to get this to do work, though. This is all the work you had to put in to actually get the agents to work, to do what you want. It's not like putting a ChatGPT prompt in there and all of a sudden you have a magical AI agent that does all this stuff. I'm sure it's getting there. They're all trying to do that. But I mean, the big disconnect right now, I think, with AI is that Google has its own stuff. OpenAI has its own stuff. And but how do you get everything to communicate? This is how everything communicates. This is what N8N is. It allows you to build the AI agents, and it allows all the different software programs to communicate with each other. Google can communicate with Follow Boss, can communicate with Facebook, can communicate with Go High Level, can communicate with Zapier, can communicate with your skip tracing. This is what this software does. These are my photo editing agents. Right? This is the back end of the photo editor. We got calendar creation agents, buyer showing calendar creation agent. It's very simple. It's a Google trigger. It monitors the inbox. It then formats the data. It scrapes the email, formats the data, creates the event, and then moves the email to a different folder so it doesn't keep creating the event. Simple. Well, these are my work in progress. But yeah, I have here's the transaction coordinator. Let me show you the seller. This is the CRM line. Create seller, find seller. So this is an update line. This is a create new line, the top one. This is for each buyer or seller path. I'm not creating spaces with sellers, but it's here. But this is how it generates the appraisals and the calendar events and the appraisal calendar events and the mortgage commitment and all that. And then they just updated this. These are the emails. Depending on if there's financing, if there's inspections, if there's non-inspections, there's a title email. It's all here. And you could just keep growing this agent. When the technology evolves, you just add more to it. When you figure out more things that you want to automate, you just add on to it. It's amazing. It's amazing. But anyways, I guess that's it for this video, man. I'm just really want you guys to understand what these AI agents are, and you have to be conscientious to not get sucked into nonsense, because like there's just I follow everyone on YouTube who does these agents, and I learned all this from YouTube. So there's a lot of really amazing people to follow, but like I'm sorry to say, but like anyone who sells real estate knows what it takes to sell real estate and knows the complications behind it. And it's impossible for someone overseas to really understand our business, right? and they're kind of misleading everybody. I think a little bit. Some of these people that I found on the internet, they have really good concepts, but like they're very 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 basic concepts, and there's no value there. If you want effective AI agents, they have to be custom systems. In my opinion, there's not one size fits all, and that's what I can do for you guys. I can help you with build these things. I'd love to help you. This is my passion. I I'm probably just as passionate about this as I am real estate at this point. But I would love to talk with anybody about this. I'm trying to network with people on this. I have a Skool community that I built that's all about this. So guys, if you want to get in on this with me, follow my page, subscribe. If you need my help building them, call me. But in the meantime, just try to learn this on your own, and then the more you learn on your own, the more you'll be able to articulate what you want out of this. So if you don't actually want to build them, someone like me could build it for you, but like you still should know something about it so you can articulate to me what you want. But anyways, that's it. Please like and share this video. I really appreciate you guys. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my Skool community. Thanks a lot. You have a great day. I'll see you.